draw the line because it awakens people.
In a minute. I'm your host, Hassan, asking you to stay tuned, subscribe, share, and Go Black in a Minute is sponsored by WACPtv.bz and Visit Belize.
Especially those that have carried on the knowledge of our traditional practices, and I'm sure that this very moment or this occasion, all those ancestors that have gone ahead of us will remember or will be with us this morning in spirit. And so the reason why we're dragging is because they have not reached, but they will be here with us. So we begin.
Because you know that how when I was raised by my family, my father was different in educating us with the sexual life. He said you have to respect your body, you have to respect yourself,
Yes.
and you have to demand that respect.
Yes.
So for us, that is like impure, and that is like no.
But remember that that was after society has changed and influenced. Because first, as Maya citizens, we would not be allowed to even pray to God. We would have different gods that we can pray to.
Depend on the race of the tribe you are.
And
Because
the
I know
main god,
the Kekchis are like what you are saying,
and the main god, yeah, all from
but
Mexico,
not the
all
other
down.
race of people.
The Yucatec, the Quechua,
No, I know.
all
Well,
of
the
them.
Yucatec, I don't know.
Yeah.
The ancient ones, the older ones.
Aztecs, the same thing.
Modern ones now after the civilization changes.
And that's what
Then
I'm
it's
saying.
different.
So it evolved. So they stayed away from a lot of people because in history books they depict the older generations
And
like
you
the
know what
Aztecs.
my tribe thinks? The more you go around with having those dirty things like sex and so on, it's the more lower you get. The higher ranking Mayas are the one who are prestigious and has to be respected. So that's
Okay.
how I understand it.
So tell us about
What's
this. You said there would
If
used to
lower
be
class,
you
a
see
way to train men
like that,
to
to
have.
have to know how to have sex even
Mhm.
before they get married.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and that's not nothing new. It
Mm-hmm.
came from even civilizations as the Africans and so.
well, it was
The Egyptians, they did it. All of them did it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where they were
Well,
trained,
it's right now.
so
Like
they
right
know how
now,
to
the
do
more
it.
richer you are, the dirtier you are.
They
It's
so,
the
no,
same
no, no.
idea.
But the difference
The
is,
same idea.
you
When
see,
you think they are pure and they are big and they're respected because
the
of their
difference
wealth,
is that
it's because they are doing
when
all sorts of nonsense. Of
there's a
things that is not
difference with
respected.
what you say, and it's wrong to let go, to waste and everything during sex. But when it was done and when it was taught under the principle of transmutation,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in transmutation, the shaman would teach how to have sex, but he would make sure that when he reaches to a point, he holds it in and he transmutates,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's the difference, because it wasn't a question of he sleeping around. It's a question that that was actually a part of a ceremony,
Mm.
right? So even before you start your wedded life, you would have to go to do these ceremonies
No,
of preparation.
but then, for us, it's like when you get married, that's your first husband. You can't go before that with
But that
anybody
is
else.
now the modern civilization turn of view. That was after the
No, I
conquistadors and all
feel
of that.
no. I feel that how that is part of us. You know
See,
why? Because when we are going to be like like um like let's say special, like say I feel special to myself.
hmm
So
hmm
I would want to consider myself respected too. So I
hmm
have to do good things so that people
but you
can watch
see,
me on that
the
angle.
the principle comes is that what is good for one person is bad for another, and what may be bad for another person may be good for you. So it's based on your customs and traditions and your practices. If this is a custom that is implied in the whole village, nobody will look at you bad because that's the custom.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no,
So
no.
they
And
don't
then
look
when
at
you
you
look
bad.
at when you look at people like this that can handle themselves, that can demand that respect for themselves, they are respected for that. They're respected for that because
In the Mayans, that again, you're bringing that to modern society, and we've lost all of that because most women don't think that way. It's sad to say, but in the Mayan society, it wasn't that you how you only behave that you're respected because they already had a prior hierarchy. They had a head priest, they had all the ones at the door, they had the vestal virgins, they had the religious leaders, they had the, I mean,
it's like nowadays they have
everything is
different
separate.
groups of people, like the whores in the bars, like the ladies in the house, like
Right.
other people that
Yeah.
works wherever.
Yeah.
So I
And
think that is the same idea.
that
But
has always existed.
uh
Prostitution is the only oldest profession in the world. And even if we don't talk about it, within our civilizations, that has also been there,
yes, I know.
right? That
But
has
that
in
is why
any and in
if you go to the Mayan villages right now and you talk about this with the older women, they're going to chase you away.
they
They're going
would
to beat you
they
up and
would.
take you out of the
I
village.
have been out, and you
Like
have to
this
know
is
how
no
to
no.
speak to them
This is
because
no
I
no.
have been out
That is no
in
no.
societies in
No no.
India where if you hold a meeting in the community,
Sure.
only the men would go. If they allow the females to go, they sit in the back, and the male has to be in the front, and the females would not talk. And if you want to talk to, if you want to talk to the females, you basically they would look at their husband for them to shake their head or so if they can answer.
Mm.
So there's a lot of these things
That
that
is in the older days too, but
yeah
nowadays you go to my village in Maya Center, ladies are more there than men, and
yeah
they're the ones who's making the decision now,
yeah
not men.
yeah.
And if you go around doing bad things, everybody look at you like, like a second person, like
And
somebody
however,
that's
I
not
can tell
respected.
you, like last time that I visited Cornejo and all of that, you
They're the
know,
Ketchi tribe.
the
They're
Kachi
like
tribe,
what you are saying.
right?
The
So
Ketchi is
they're in
different.
the river, and they have all their dresses all the way down to their hips, and they're exposing their breasts, washing clothes
But
and
no
everything,
man you can
and
see around them at that
that
time.
is natural. That is
But no
natural
man
for
is
them.
with them, only lone woman.
Oh, but they wash it right in the river beside the road where everybody passes.
Yes, but that is part of the tradition, and you have to respect it. You can't go and touch them.
That's what I say.
Uh-huh.
So that other people might say, "Oh my God, they're exposing themselves." However, it is part of the culture and tradition. So what may you may see bad because they're exposing themselves. For them, it's not bad because it's part of their culture.
No, but when you live with them, then you no go look at it bad. You look at
Let
it
me
like normal.
let me show you something. In history books, it shows that Aztecs used to sacrifice people. They had these special knives and they cut under their heart and take out the heart pumping. All these movies show this. That never happened. That never happened. They used to sacrifice animals to the god, not
That's why I don't
people.
believe all the things that I read in the books. I don't believe it.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. So if you don't do your proper research, you will be guided and we are influenced by modern society. However, if you look good into our traditions, a lot of this were make-up stories.
No, but then
Right.
how is it that our grandmothers teach us that to respect yourself and to not to go with galataman because that's bad,
Right.
And yet even to talk about sex life you can't do it because that
Yeah.
is like something that is sacred.
Taboo.
It's sacred.
They
You
call
can't
it
talk
taboo.
about
They
it
don't
in the
touch
open
those
area, in the
topics.
open. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah, I
So I
understand
feel
that.
that how I feel I come from a special tribe,
Yeah.
and so I have to continue, the way the grandmother taught us to be.
Mm-hmm. And you're
So
right.
so
Uh,
depending on the tribe, I guess that's how you learn about the
and
people.
I like that you're holding your traditions because modern society now
Changes everything. Changes
changes
everything.
has been changing drastically. But for your tribe to get where it was and where you're keeping it, it took time. But that's not where you started. So if you look at everything behind, you would see the
Even
changes that
nowadays too.
occurred then.
Even nowadays, you think everybody's like you, but it's not true.
No, it's not.
Everybody outside there is doing their own thing the way they feel like.
Yes.
Like now, there's a man in the U.S. that is charged millions of dollars for pornography, for this and that.
Oh,
And
and
when you look
children
at them, they are
pornography.
rich. They are rich
Yeah.
people. So you think that they are the one of the cleanest. You know, the way the appearance, everybody respect them,
Well,
like them, love them.
if,
But at the back stage,
only if
they are
you're
doing the
lucky
most of
you
the
get to
dirtiest
you
things.
get to be financially stable right now. Those most people that are financially inept without causing an effect, but most people that are well off is usually because they're doing something that is not accepted socially. You understand? It's not accepted socially, and that's the only thing that makes money. Because if you base on society, it's regulations, it's changing our perspectives, and we being affected by television that is
Mm.
affecting our kids in their way they think.
Mm-hmm.
Not only
Mm-hmm.
television nowadays is the Facebook and everything that you can get in there.
And I will
The
say
internet.
something, and I have this beautiful young lady that is there of another race, and I basically still have some issues with that. For example, let's talk of the punta music, which you are familiar with, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The punta music, a lot of punta music and songs were ceremonial sexual songs for during marriage and everything,
Back
not
then.
not for celebration,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when somebody is marrying and so they dance outside and they
Mm-hmm.
all of this and they have these
Mm-hmm.
punta celebrations and so you have to be a certain age to learn that. Now what is happening, they have the small little
Mm-hmm.
girls and so
Mm-hmm.
going out showing and shaking and this and that was not accepted before, because this music was ceremonial music, was sexual music. So they had to be a certain age before they behaved that way.
Mm.
They could be taught, but they would not expose them to doing that in the streets and everywhere. You had to be a particular age. Now they started from small. So then you have the young girls influenced by modern society that they feel they can go shake their booty anywhere.
Well, but
That's
because
what the
of the
song
modern
say.
age, it's the modern age now.
Shake your booty.
And
Yeah.
now when you see this little girl doing it now, for us it doesn't mean much because it's acceptable nowadays. And
For
she does
much
not,
more
yeah,
people.
she's not
She doesn't know
performing a
what she's
pornography
doing.
dance.
She herself
Yeah, it's
doesn't
part
know.
of culture, you know.
Right?
So that is how we sell it nowadays. It's part of us now selling
It's
it
just like
to
some
tourism to the
Christian
other or
cultures.
outer world.
It's just like some Christian cultures which they say, um, there's a Guatemalan singer that says they baptized me when I was a baby and they didn't even invite me. You know, so you
Mm-hmm.
go through the baptism, and as a baby you don't know what's happening. When in the old tradition, you were not baptized at a birth. You were taken into a ceremony to be presented.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you grow up and you choose your religion, you baptize in whatsoever religion you want.
I'm so
Mm-hmm.
sorry, we have to leave.
Okay, have a great day.
All right there.
So these are the changes now that the Catholicism and everything the religious has been taking over. They want to baptize, so they're trying to grab your children from
Mm-hmm.
early age
Mm-hmm.
and induct them
Early.
into religion early, so
Mm-hmm.
they have to belong to that religion.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't so in our traditions. You were not baptized at that early age. You were only presented,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why even when the woman had childbirth, they would stoop down and not lie down, and stooping down they would have their babies,
Mm-hmm.
and the babies would touch the ground, because that was part of the pregnancy ritual, in which as soon as they're born they have to be introduced to Mother Earth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
we've lost that.
Okay, well, I'm going to put a plug in this, and we're going to stay tuned to WACP, the place to be, for we are creative people. And we're going to ask a question on the other side.
Black in a minute.
Now the roar of the lion has awakened his people.
You know, the Christian religion has taught one man, one woman. And there are so many more women on the planet than there are men. And if you had one man, one woman, look at what would happen. So, my question to you is, Well, let me make a statement first. Some of the greatest men in the world that did the most for people were people of extended family. I won't say polygamy,
Yeah,
extended family.
yeah.
Tell us about that, one man, one woman, and tell us about how it has extended to from that to this.
In my point of view, it really depends on what part of the earth they did it. Because, an example, here in Belize, okay, the difference between female and males is not much. You just have a few more female than males. But in parts of the other parts of the country, for example, there's a village in Brazil that in the whole village they have like 500 women,
Mhm.
and there's a 14-year-old. I don't remember the name of the village presently, but you can Google this and you can research. There's a 14-year-old. There's a guy between 20 and 30, and there's an older gentleman about his 50s. And these are the only three males in a 500 woman village,
Mm.
right? So it is the duty, and they cannot wait for the young kid to reach sexual age, because between the two that are in sexual age, it's their duty to take care of all these 500 women.
Mhm.
You cannot expect them to be faithful to one woman, because what happened to the other 498 women?
Mhm.
And there are countries that are currently offering for you to go parts of Russia, parts of different parts of the world, including Africa. They're offering you money, land, and house if you would go there, and they would the woman would be willing to accept you,
Mhm.
because there's an average of maybe 7 to 10 women to one man,
Mm.
and they're realizing if they continue this pattern that their population will decrease.
Mhm.
There are religious factors as well. Some of them have changed. So one particular religion would allow as many women as you can financially support.
Mhm.
Now there's new law that came out that says yes, you can have up to. Now they're putting a number
Mhm.
up to four.
Mhm.
Okay. However, the prior wife has to authorize and give permission for you to get another wife.
Mhm.
So if you have one wife and you need a second one, the first wife has to agree. If you have two wives and you need a third one, the two wives have to agree to the third one. So
And
they meet the wife before they agree.
and this was not based on sex.
And this was not based on sex. It has been based on population growth, what is required, all of this. As if you look statistically at the level of sperm count of a man
Mhm.
100 years ago
Mhm.
to right now, it has the number of sperm count has decreased over 80%
Mhm.
decrease. So what is happening is the sperm are more weaker,
Mhm.
and we're having an outflux of more females,
Oh,
right? So you have a lot of females, less male,
weak sperm, female.
right?
Hmm.
So this is what is causing this transition that needs to be looked at,
Hmm.
right? So it depends on the society. It depends on the religion you belong. It depends on what is lawfully accepted.
Mhm.
But I will stop here with this comment. Okay? One person said here before, I hope that one day we live in a world without borders,
Yes.
that we are one as a family.
Yes.
And I will let you know that there's nothing more stronger than government and religion, that instead of uniting people
Mhm.
are creating more and more borders and divisions,
Like religion, create
especially.
more division.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
they're not satisfied only with the division that was done by heritage, by
Mhm.
tribes, or by class of people or color.
Mhm.
Now they're taking these individual groups and dividing them by religious groups,
Mm.
right? And it is under one principle: divide and conquer.
Hmm.
The idea behind social right now is to be able to control people,
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Yeah. Control.
And if the stronger the group is, it's harder to handle.
Mm-hmm.
We had the example that we did yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
right? One stick you can break,
Mm.
several together you can't,
Mm.
right? And this is what they're saying. They're dividing us, putting us against each other
Mm-hmm.
so that
Mm-hmm.
they can control us.
Wow.
So give some consideration, and you may think that I am crazy,
Hmm.
but sit down on your own and think about it. Look at the statistics, look at the numbers, and you see what I'm saying. Coming back to your question, it's in the individual, how he lives his life, how he can do it. I don't believe that it is for a man to go around having kids and spreading kids
Mm-hmm.
everywhere and it
Mm-hmm.
causing more poverty and all of that, you know. But I do believe that based on where we live, each one of us has a responsibility to make sure that our heritage and that our population moves on.
Mm.
And if that in some communities means that they accept more than one wives, let it be. There's nothing wrong. What is good for one person may be bad for another. What is bad for another might be the salvation for another.
Like for example, if a man has a business and that business requires workers, the best worker that you could get is a partner, and you could call it wife or whatever name you want to call it.
Exactly.
But that's the best person. And if you need 5 or 10 or 12, then I think that man would be better off having it keep it
It
in the
is a
family.
family. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a family business. But if you have someone, a stranger there,
Mm-hmm.
the moment you turn your back,
They're gonna take from you.
where is the loyalty? Where is
Mm-hmm.
this?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a family business and you can keep it a close knit family,
Mm-hmm.
now that's the only thing that you have to watch.
Seem like
Because if you get far cousins, far this and
yes,
that, what creates is envy.
yes, yes.
But if you keep it close knit family, then everybody's working towards one goal.
I think that most people look at the pattern that was given to us, and we think that pattern is it because that's all we know.
Written in stone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. People have to open their minds a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
and look around. Actually study your history. And don't take everything you see in writing for its face value.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research. We have a conscience. We have a brain. Use it a little bit to gather information. And don't take societal law as an extreme to make your own personal decisions.
All right then. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we got to do this again. All right. Peace and blessings.